How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the beef between AOC, aka Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. Now, there's a lot to this. There's a lot to quote-unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say. I'm not going to address every little point because there's a whole lot of back and forth between them. I'll just address the general genesis of it and the gist of what's happening right now today. Now, let's go all the way back to when AOC got put into office in November of last year. From the very beginning, she had this whole thing of trying to be revolutionary and trying to change things. Her and some other people who are also in there, who are now known as the Squad in Washington, D.C., which is, of course, AOC leading, then Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley, the so-called women of color. They've been on the cover of Rolling Stone and whatnot, but that's a whole different story I'll get to in a moment. Anyway, they're trying to come in there. They're trying to be the radical far leftists and change things. AOC has the Green New Deal. Ilhan Omar is talking about being a Muslim, being an activist that way. Same thing with Rashida Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley is saying some racist things, like calling Kellyanne Conway a distraction Becky. So they're just really, really far left, and they're very popular on Twitter, social media in general, mostly. But anyway, they're trying to change things, and Nancy Pelosi, as Speaker of the House, does not want things to be changed, not the way they want to change it. Nancy Pelosi, as Speaker of the House, wants to be the leader, while at the same time, she's dealing with all this negative attention from these people that are going against the establishment Democrats' way of doing business. You understand? Pelosi keeps getting asked questions about her, and she's like downplaying them. You know, oh, they got the green dream or whatever. You know, that's not really a big deal. And then also, she's being asked about their following and how popular they are. And so it's like, well, they got a lot of followers on Twitter, but what about in the actual House? Not very many votes. It's only 4 people. And she is correct, because they had that spending bill for, you know, humanitarian needs at the border that all Democrats voted for except for the Squad, the 4 people. So what she's saying about you don't have the actual votes on the floor is correct. You got a lot of Twitter followers, but what about followers in the House? There's only 4 of you guys versus all of us that have the majority in the House. If all of us vote as one and you guys vote separately, it doesn't even really matter. All that you're doing is just creating problems for the Democratic Party and the media because of your popularity. That's the general gist of what's happening. Now, let's get to what AOC is accusing Nancy Pelosi of, which is racism when it relates to the quote-unquote Squad. As I said, Nancy Pelosi keeps getting asked questions about these people, the 4 people in the Squad, and she's downplaying them and saying they don't really have a lot of influence in the House, all this and that. So AOC is trying to say, since they in the Squad keep getting singled out, that Nancy Pelosi must have an issue with people of color. Maybe that's it. She said the first thing, which was more likely the case in the beginning of her statement, which was Nancy Pelosi does not want to have these people come in here and try to take over. But at the end of her statement, she was like, well, it could be some racism. She alluded to racism being a factor, although it doesn't really make any sense. Pelosi came out, I think it was in a closed door meeting, maybe even outside door. And if I can find footage of that, I'll link to it in the description box below. But she's like, look, if you got a problem with me, you got something you want to say, don't tweet about it. Don't do all these different things. Just come to me and talk about it. And I think that's legitimate and that's fair. Okay. That's the way it should be, because a lot of the back and forth is happening right now between AOC and Nancy Pelosi is over social media. You got things like AOC talking about Joe Biden and segregationists and trying to link that to Democrats in general. And then the whole thing about singling the Squad out, all this and that. A lot of that's happening online. And you basically have Twitter beef between the Speaker of the House and a freshman congresswoman, man, whatever she wants to call herself. So that's the general gist of what's going on. But let's get back to the whole idea of racism and singling AOC and the Squad out. Now, I said in the very beginning that this group of people, the 4 congressmen, have been on the cover of Rolling Stone. They've been spoken about a lot. They sit together a lot. Picture taken of them. They have a whole lot of attention on them. Okay, AOC especially, you got like almost 5 million followers on Twitter. So all eyes are going to be on you. How are you saying that it's racist for Nancy Pelosi to quote unquote single you out when she is one who keeps getting asked questions about you and the others as one? And when you're in the cover of magazines together, you are in the House taking pictures together, you're asking questions together, you're voting together, you guys are all linked together, you have a group. If all the Democrats in the House vote for this particular bill for humanitarian need at the border, and it's only you four that vote against it, you guys are creating your own little group. Why would you not be talked about as a group? It's clear what you are. It's like saying, okay, I have a basketball team, right? It's 5 guys on the team, starting squad. Okay. If I get spoken about as myself being one person and the rest of the guys together as a team, I can't say, oh, they're singling us out, it's racist. No, you guys have identified as a team. You operate as a team. You work as a team. You're going to be questioned, you're going to be scrutinized, you're going to be criticized or praised as a team. It's very simple. Personally, I like what I'm seeing from the Democratic Party right now. I love it because what's happening is that a lot of the Democrats are having to dig their heels in and resist being pushed to the left. Although Nancy Pelosi is correct when she says the far leftist small portion of people in the party do not have enough votes to make that much of a difference, she's not acknowledging how their party is being shifted to the left in general by these 4 people because they have so much attention on them, so much media coverage. They're going to be pressured as a whole to move to the left. That's what's going on. Okay. A lot of the, the racist language, the foul language, and the crazy ideology from the far left is infecting the Democratic Party as a whole. So while they move to the far left, people that were kind of in the center left, maybe even regular leftists are now left without a country, so to speak. So by default, they're going to be over on the right. It's like if the left is, let's say, that much of the political spectrum, right? An equal proportion to the right. You got the center, and then you have the far left. But they move over here, and that's the portion that they have. Just that portion right there. All the rest of it is belonging to the right now. So we're going to gain numbers just based on the strength of the Democratic Party moving so far left. They're going to basically leave people orphaned without a home at all, homeless. We're going to take them in, and we're going to seem like and be like, in reality, the more logical choice for people to choose. People that would never have gone over to the right, never would have been curious, are now going to be on our side. If not by default, it'll be by choice because of how far left and crazy the Democratic Party is. So I say AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, and the squad, you guys can continue to behave as you do and continue to move your party to the left by hook or by crook. Nancy Pelosi can keep on trying to resist it. That's going to bode well for us in the Republican Party on the right, people that are conservative when it comes to the 2020 election and also local elections in the very near future and far beyond. So that's pretty much all I got. What say you? Do you think that there's much more to the AOC and Nancy Pelosi kerfuffle? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or did I pretty much nail it? It was some animosity from the very beginning. You got this squad coming together, linking up. They're doing certain things. Nancy Pelosi's trying to resist. They don't want it. Here comes the far left tactics of accusing people of racism, sexism, all these obics, obes, and this, while they judge everybody on obics, obes, and this as well, on age, on gender, on sex, on everything else. Okay. It's really weird to see these people operate and how they actually are, just go through everyday life, but it is what it is. Am I missing anything? Am I wrong about what I'm saying? Do you think that AOC and her squad is going to be the wave of the future in the Democratic Party? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why you think that way in the comments below. And when is that going to happen? You only had 4 people vote against the Democratic spending bill for the border humanitarian needs. How are you really going to be able to improve that anytime soon? I don't really know, but whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.